Shares of Cannabis Capital Shares Green Capital by Noor 2014. Colorado has allowed the use of marijuana for free use, not only for medical purposes, and from that moment it was discovered the most lucrative financial business, companies and investors alike. And of course the users enjoy free trade. Now the burgeoning marijuana industry intensifies its efforts to attract private and institutional investors alike by IPO on Nasdaq through crowdfunding. U.S. marijuana market in 2015 produced about $5.7 billion, a huge increase from $4.6 billion in relation to 2014, and estimated the numbers further climb to $22 billion by 2020, it said ArcView Group, an investment and research of Cannabis San Francisco. The legalization are gathering momentum and now has 4 states authorized the use of cannabis for purposes of pleasure, and another 25 countries have approved the medical use of the plant. Currently, about 86% of American culture in a country where the authorized use of any of marijuana, according to the group ArcView, and companies looking for alternative ways to bring investors to support business development. Nasdaq approval. Getting approval on Nasdaq, a stock exchange which is an online trading arena in the business world, would legitimize media companies like Massroots, social network incorporating pro-cannabis legalization working on expanding world community. But the process could ease later in the year. Companies must also show they generate income, and can be all that it approves it because of the low stock price. Currently, there are already several companies with a proven reputation listed on Nasdaq, such as GW Pharmaceuticals, GWPH, a company originated in England, which specializes in biotechnology of cannabis plants designed to treat epilepsy. Incy's Therapeutics, INSY, of Phoenix, United States, known as an intern in cancer pain treatments that accompany the disease, and now also manufactures products epilepsy. Cara Therapeutics, Cara, a biomedical company that develops and publishes painkillers. Zynerba Pharmaceuticals, ZYNE, which specializes in the development and distribution of synthetic cannabinoid medicine. While IPO on Nasdaq does look as a legitimate path toward legitimacy of cannabis, but many companies lacks performance and a good business model, said Robert Hunt, Cobtoter Capital, private equity fund based in New York and devotes great efforts to develop industry medical cannabis Big Apple. Most companies do not generate enough income, and therefore not getting enough customers to generate sales, says Hunt. The main successful ones in the area are private, which come with strong financial backing. Several people from the industry believe that the permit to Massroots Nasdaq is not likely at all, and they were still not ready and Inc. Over a year ago there was a major breakthrough in the field with TerraTech company specializing in the production of a variety of oils, approved the issuance stock exchange in New York, Wall Street. This was particularly good news in light of the difficulties faced by companies in the United States with regard to cannabis economic threat. The vast majority of banks refuse to work with them because, according to federal law, it is still considered an illegal drug. Shares of companies fussing, directly or indirectly, cannabis, medical or not, jumped from the moment began to allow the use of the drug in different countries. The United States. This company Conceal Hemp, HEMP, for example, sells cannabis-based products and promotes awareness of the benefits of marijuana, showed an increase of several 100% since starting this snowball rolling. Companies that choose to issue in the OTC market shares in smaller companies typically employ because it does not meet the standards required for a more serious issue. There is no clear advantage compared to private companies. The only advantage is a greater ability to repay their debts on time, and this strategy may fall if the stock price does not remain constant, says Hunt. This lack of sophistication on the part of the operators are convinced that public issue is beneficial to them, he says, including companies lack financial compendium available in case of need. Too many companies remain barely protruding while others go through periods of extreme daily fluctuations. Most of the 350 companies traded cannabis-related business in the OTC market, and 195 of them working in the financial sector, says Eddie Miller, CEO InvestinCannabis.com. A new technology was involved cannabis. Somewhat problematic issue is the vast majority of the companies have relatively low market capitalization and daily trading volume is low, which increases the risk for investors, says. Private investment opportunities are also available for investors who want to trade stocks not marijuana in the OTC or Nasdaq. Cannabis companies can now participate in the financing mass of jobs since the law went into effect in 2012 and paved the way for everyday consumers who want to make small investments in various sectors. Shares of cannabis, the green capital. Shares of cannabis, Cannabis Capital Shares Green. Shares affordable. MedX, a company that has been working on the identification and extraction of the compound cannabidiol, CBD, for the medical industry, creates soft ground for other companies related to cannabis use mass funded by raising capital. Any person over the age of 18 with an annual income of more than $4,200 can buy 700 shares for a consideration of $420, says Matthew Mills, MNCL Finance MedX. While the private sector seems a better bet, the market remains very busy and choosing the right product or technology remains complicated. Most of the investments are recognized investors, but now with the new regulations the landscape changes. The minimum investment is usually between $25,000 and $50,000 are generally long-term commitments. So crowdfunding is considered an excellent mechanism for the average person to invest relatively small amounts of money. It's not fair that 99% of the potential investors will not be able to participate, says Matthew. Investors should stick to companies with real products, not theoretical like marijuana. Many marijuana business can survive only if they are acquired by a larger and better established, said Matthew. Entrepreneurs must be realistic and be equipped with at least $5 million in investments that produce harmful attacked by any example may bring a return to 90 or 120 days, and all this without any tax breaks or FTSOIM. Should you run to invest? With all the inherent economic options booming business of the hemp plant, there is still a problem for potential investors in this space, and the problem is the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA. The main regulator of Wall Street just is not going to be easily supplemented with offerings from companies that want to make public cannabis in medicine is still classified as a dangerous drug in terms of federal law in the United States. All company stock trader cannabis was the result of a reverse merger and flotation. But ultimately there is no doubt that the approval and classification will change, then the financial turmoil really can thrive and elevate the economy.